I will never forget that email and where I was and
Right.
what I was doing. I was actually meeting with a friend, Ashley, who owns Titan Roofing, networking, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we met at like my favorite coffee shop. And as soon as she left, it's like, all right, I'll check my emails. And there was this Chop and Eagles, Megan, we want you. It was specific. I cried. I'm in the middle of this coffee shop. Like, what the hell? And I'm like, what do I do? Oh my God. I think pretty sure I called my husband first. And then I called Maddie. I was like, what? Guess what happened? And then it's just, again, sometimes being so in the business, it's hard to see how far we've come. These are our partners. This is who we've helped and how many families. And we haven't even really reached the potential where we're going.
Young Drunk!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Path to Possible. I'm your host, Mike Stage. Today we have a special guest, Megan Simmons from Sensory Fit. Megan, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Awesome. So, hey, so before we get into Sensory Fit, where did you start your path? I know you were in OT for a little bit. So let's go back to, having a kid young and getting into a situation with going back to college. So let's start there and then we'll build our way back to Sensory Fit.
Yeah. So my background is occupational therapy, but to get to that point, it took me a while. The path was definitely the non-traditional path. So I didn't go to college right after high school. I did try some, gen ed at DCC, the community college.
Mhm.
So, and then I was engaged, found out we were having a baby at the same time. So things took a little turn.
Nice.
But still, things happen for a reason.
Absolutely.
So I didn't go back to school till our daughter was 9 months old. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was 22, 23
Mhm.
when I decided I was actually pursuing nursing. I always knew I wanted to do something within the medical field. So I was like, all right, well, I don't know, it's what you do. Let me just go for nursing. And through that is when I kind of came across physical therapy and occupational therapy. And then just like, all right, I wanted a more kind of one-on-one patient to therapist type of situation. I felt like I could be more valuable. Nurses are great, but I just wanted a little bit more of that kind of one-on-one connection. So I switched, my path and moved towards the occupational therapy side. So
Were you working during going to school as well?
a little bit, yeah. So, with a newborn, we were young. I
Yeah.
was bartending. Luckily, my dad at the time had just retired, so he was kind of my built-in babysitter.
Oh, that's perfect.
And the program that I found for OT was an accelerated program.
Okay.
So most of it was online. So I only had to, in the first couple semesters, only show up one day a week on Fridays. And it was 9 to 5, and it was like slam you with all the information. And then you had till Wednesday the next week, test, midterm, final, move on to the next one. It was intense,
That's
3
intense.
semesters, but it was enticing for me because I could afford to go through that because I could still be home. I didn't have to go through childcare. There would be no way, as young as we were, to really go through the full 4-year degree that was, pretty grueling. So
Yeah. I mean, I probably came in at the very end of all of that into your life. So when I first met you, you were done school, but nobody knows how hard it is to be a mother at 22 and still go after a passion into the work field and go to college, right?
right, it was
And you
tough.
go to an accelerated program and you're really nuts.
Yeah,
So you're, Mike's working, you're working. The baby has no clue what is going on, but it understands.
she's just being tossed around.
Yeah. And mom, dad, grandpa, grandmom, they're all there for her. That's the one thing that a baby should know is that they have a lot of support, right?
Right.
So working nights, going to school, accelerated. Where did you find time to study?
I pretty much lived at my parents', so they had an office, and the only
Okay.
way I could disconnect myself to really focus was to remove myself and into like a hole and just zone in.
Right.
So I did a lot of time in their upstairs office. That was kind of took it over. going through anatomy and physiology. I had my skeletons that were like labeled and just all of that stuff. I had my mom help me try to even understand some of the crazy bones and nerves and all these different, things you had to know through the school.
Okay.
And then, at the same time, my husband's working, my dad's watching the baby, my mom's helping, she's still working. I had my best friend, Maddie, your wife.
Yeah.
She knew the only time that I had is either she watched Marley, our daughter, or she would sit up there and help me study.
Right.
And out of my friends, she was the only one that really understood that. So having parent support, grandparent support, and then, her support is really the only reason I could have gotten through it. And it's like one of those things you're determined. I feel like it was so long ago that I really don't know how I did it. I'm so glad I did, because I'm pretty sure if I hadn't done it at whatever point I was like, let's try it, who knows where I would be.
Right.
I'd probably still be bartending. I don't even know. I don't want to think about that.
Right. Where were you bartending at?
In Exton, I guess at one point I was at Max and Irma's.
Okay.
Right next to the dealership there. It's now Texas Roadhouse.
Nice.
So it was bartending, just kind of in and out there. I was also helping a friend of mine, an old neighbor. I was kind of like her office manager. I would kind of just help her on the side with her painting business. And with that, I was able to bring Marley, and she would nap because she had it in her house. So I would just go to her house, Marley would nap, and I would kind of work for a couple hours and pieced it together, really.
So you really did not go a traditional path.
No.
No. You went like backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not the path in, your parents' eyes. And that, back in the day, you finish high school, you go to college, you get your degree, and you work. Well, I just said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, right. No, I love it. So because what's funny is that is also a path for a lot of people that you just don't know or recognize. And
I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it was very hard for me to sit and study something, or especially those gen ed courses where it's boring.
Well,
I need something that was enticing. And I always worked. Always worked. I think I started the moment you could at like 13 or 14.
Right.
So I always worked. It was always active. But I always knew I wanted to do something within the medical field. I was a dental assistant because I could do that. I went to school on Sundays for that at a dentist office and internship. So I was a dental assistant, was going to go for dental hygiene, but that school was not conducive to a newborn.
Right.
So there's a lot of different paths I was trying to go, just trying to make it.
Okay. Wow. I mean, so
Probably some of this you don't even know.
Yeah, no, I don't. And it's funny when you talk to people that you think you learn a lot more about their path, because a lot of people don't want to talk about their path. They don't want to talk about the muck they went through. They want to be happy, and they don't like. A lot of people should celebrate going through what you went through. You did a lot. Being a mom, being a wife or a fiance at the time. Working, going to school. Being a child when your parents are, helping you raise your kid. Like my grandparents raised me as well.
Right.
So like that's real big. That's huge for people. But people that don't have that support, they tough through it. They should talk about that more. When you go through accelerated programs, or like there are programs that are accelerated.
So many different avenues.
Yeah. There's so many different avenues, and a lot of people don't talk about them, in my opinion. I think they should. But no, that's
it's not traditional. So why would
it's not traditional. Right. So then you start working as an OT.
Yeah. So 3 semesters accelerated. Last semester was full time. We knew I had time to prepare for that. So 3 semesters in on Fridays, accelerated. And then my last semester was full-time clinical. So I was like, all right, can my dad help watch our daughter full-time while I was out doing clinical? So I was at a hand center down in Philly. I was in some schools, special needs preschool. I was kind of all over doing my clinicals, but I knew it was like, I got to get through this and then I graduate.
Right.
And during one of my clinicals, I was working in a rehab, and I was actually offered a position before I even graduated. So I was able to get a temp license until I took my board. So I knew before even I was done my clinicals that I had a job. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is what you fight for. And I had, it was fantastic.
Now, is the money good when you got out? Is it?
Everything's good when you
Yeah.
get out, especially when you're broke and going
Right.
through school. Like, yeah. And you have that almost like consistency, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, I got a full-time job, 40 hours, and that's what they kind of teach you in school. They don't really tell you the real world like life situations,
Mm,
they'll tell you kind of the book basics and kind of a generalized what to expect. But got a job. It was great. I worked it for a year. We bought a house. Like it was like, okay, now we're more along the traditional path.
right. So after being realigned, you found out that work started becoming a little bit more political. With like, is it cutthroat in that business? Like, is there a bunch of OTs that are like, oh, we're gonna get her out of
No,
here?
it's
Okay, or is it
we're
just fighting
one
for a spot?
for each other. Honestly, it's for each other. I've
Hmm.
never really been in a situation where I was fighting for a position as a staff therapist.
Hmm.
I've always worked in, pretty large groups of therapists. So there's always usually a space, or honestly, I did a lot of things that were what we call PRN, so kind of an as needed basis. And I did that full time. It's a lot more money. I could dictate the hours. And again, at this point with like a toddler,
Hmm.
I work the weekends. I could work my own shifts. I get more money because I don't get 401, I don't get vacation, so there's like a balance to that.
Okay.
But I made that work. And that's one of the good things I liked about my profession was there's a lot of different areas to go to make it work with my family, my situation.
Hmm.
But no, the only time I really started to get frustrated or just felt kind of stuck was probably right before COVID.
Hmm.
I had worked my way up as a staff therapist to director of rehab, dementia care coordinator.
That
I
was your
love,
title?
yeah, I love memory.
Wow.
I love the geriatrics. They're so challenging and intriguing. And oh my gosh, try to put yourself in the mind of a 95-year-old who's stuck
I
in
don't want
as
to.
age 20. Like
Yeah, no, I don't want.
it's so fun and challenging trying to get them, to embrace what they're going through. And that's what we do as, OT. We try to kind of relate to them and then
Right.
work on our goals. But
That's tough.
between that, then there's layoffs. I've
Mm.
also, at this point, I had 2 more kids. I was my first real layoff. I was 8.5 months pregnant with my son, my youngest. And I was like, and then I was the director of rehab. I was like, this is great. Like, this is my path.
Right.
Bam. Nope. We're laying you off. You have 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm going out on maternity leave. Like, I was crying. Like, the whole world just kind of crumbled right then and there. It took me 7 months to find another job. And that was just to be a staff therapist.
Wow.
So, I now have 3 kids. At this point, we had like a 12-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a newborn. My younger 2 are a year and a half apart. Laid off. I'm
Mm.
trying to figure out how to live and be a mom to these 2 little ones that are so similar in age, a toddler who's crazy, and also try to find a job.
Yeah.
It was
What is it like?
and it was also like, okay, enjoy this time because I'm forced to be home. I have a newborn, I have a 1-year-old and my daughter, the oldest. But again, the stressful aspect is like, I still need to work. I have to work.
He who giveth taketh.
And at the same time, my husband, who was working his way up with a township that he was in,
Right.
also decided, like, hey, I'm going to volunteer to be a firefighter. And I'm like, all right. Like, my mom volunteered and she did like office stuff. So that's what I thought.
Right.
Nope. He decided to be a firefighter and go through all the training and to leave at all hours and just leave me with a baby. So there's a little bit of resentment.
Oh,
But
I mean, it had to look sexy when it came in, like the
there were some
suspenders, no
perks.
shirt underneath.
But that moment, I'm home with a newborn, a 1-year-old, trying to manage it was a lot. But again, things happen for a reason.
Did he do a little dance for you
No,
when he would get home?
no, because
No.
he's tired. It was 3 a.m. I want No thanks. But again, his
Go
path,
take a shower,
my
dude.
path, like, things happen for a reason. So
Right.
that's kind of where I try to keep that in my head when, things hit the fan and it's not going the right way. I'm like, all right, this is happening for a reason.
I was gonna say a choppy path like this is not traditional, and we've grown up, and like our generation, like we've grown up to be told, go to college, get married, have kids, go to work until you're 65, 70, retire, and then that's it, right?
Mhm.
The choppy road that you're taking is it's got to be so stressful because you're like one little bump and you're off this way, another bump and you're off this way,
And I feel like I'm still like
and
that. But
and that's how it goes, right?
yeah,
And you're like, you know what, I can either have fun with this or I can sit there and just stress and not just go with the flow.
yeah.
Sometimes the universe has a way of telling us where we're going.
Yeah. And it wasn't so we had that layoff. Then I got a job and COVID hit.
Oh,
I was like, all right, what is this? Like, I'm in a rehab at this point, a subacute rehab.
right.
So at that point, we would get patients from the hospital, and our facility had a COVID unit, and they selected a few therapists to be on that unit. I was chosen. I think I was the only one out of our therapist of maybe 20, 25 therapists that had children.
Mm,
Okay, I don't fight it. Like, I
yeah,
was like, I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, and again, it's so unknown. I was like, all right, it's fine. It was insane,
I'm sure.
insane. I value that experience. I'm so glad I went through it. It was very scary. I think I've blocked a lot of it out. The things you see on TV is what happened within hospitals, like gowning up, going through zipper doors. You walk in one day, you're a patient, we're fighting them to get them home because they're fine. And like you walk in the next day and they're gone.
Right.
They've passed away.
Yeah.
It was insane. My biggest thing was like, okay, how do I pivot? Because I was working Monday through Friday. My husband was working, right? Well, there's no childcare.
Mm,
What do we do? Right. So his company was able to let him take a few days off, and I switched my days. I worked almost like a nursing shift. I did 4 10-hour days, or really it turned into like 12 hours, and I
mm.
worked the weekends. So then I was home during the week with the kids. I
And
was
losing
and
out
that
on
I
the
did that
weekends.
for what, a year and a half. It
Mm,
was its own little island at work. You would walk in one door, you would leave out at your own door. You'd got checked every morning. And then coming home, again, this new COVID, like, what is it? You know, I would have to tell my little kids that mommy was dirty for them not to touch me. So I'd have to like derobe in the garage, throw the clothes in the, washing machine. And in order to get the kids to not give mommy hugs, I've been home or not home all day, was to say I was dirty is the only thing that could, and then
right.
able to run around, mommy's dirty, don't touch her. I'm like, I mean, so, but that's the things you go through. And, as much as that situation was scary and, disheartening in a sense, I'm also grateful for that experience. At the same time, the higher ups in the company, as a therapist, they could have really cared less about us.
Yeah.
They didn't, no one checked, say, hey, Meg or any of our staff, do you guys need anything? Like, nothing. We were on our own little island, show up, is what it is. And that really put like a bad taste in my mouth.
Mhm,
Here I am risking my life,
mhm.
helping all of these patients who aren't allowed to see any of their family members. I'm their only hope. And then for us to not get any support, it put a really bad taste in my mouth. I really hated my profession. I even tried to just leave and get a desk job,
Right.
a receptionist.
Right.
I couldn't even get a desk job. Oh, you're overqualified. I'm like, nope, I don't care. Pay me $10 an hour. Like, I just need something to go to get a
Right.
little bit.
Right.
But I couldn't even get that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I've got 3 kids. I have a family. I really am hating my path right now.
Mhm.
What do I need to do? So every day on my way to work, I would hate life and I would just daydream. And then this is where the new path had started. And that's where the evolution of sensory fit was created.
Daydreaming is one of the things that used to get me through my drives to and from work. Yeah, you sit there and you think about all
Right.
the things that you like. Pick an idea, like you got 30 ideas that flow through you as soon as you wake up. You drive to work and you're like, man, it's gonna be a good day, but it's gonna be a really shitty day.
Right.
And then you're like, all right, let's think about the ideas. And then you just sit there and you drift off and you're driving and obviously being alert, but you're just comfortably driving, thinking about the next step. Sometimes a lot of people won't take that step. You did.
Yeah, and I remember, and some of my former coworkers will still say, "I remember you just talking about wanting to do this." A lot
Yeah.
of people talk and don't really act on
Yeah.
it, and I can't believe I actually acted on it because I don't come from a business background at
There's a
all.
huge fear in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like to this day, like I can't believe how far you've come. You actually did it.
Mm.
This and that. And sometimes it's hard to see because I'm so deep into it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind
All right. So your idea
of.
was Sensory Fit Playhouse or play no, Sensory Fit. That's
That's
it.
it.
That's it. Sensory Fit, that's it. That's a great slogan. So Sensory Fit, tell us a little bit about how Sensory Fit came to fruition and some of the struggles. I mean, I'm sure you can talk a lot about your
Right.
struggles, your fears, but like, let's just go into it. I'm sure I'll ask questions on the
Yeah.
way.
So at this point, I got a new job and I was working. I was a contract therapist working with schools. So I did early intervention, preschools, kids all the way up to age 18, I believe. In between that, too, I was working with Beata, kind of doing home care with adults. A lot. I was kind of all over the place.
Mhm.
And there, I knew there was always a gap in my mind. What can I do that's different? People need more help. Again, because insurance has changed. So when you're in the hospitals, things are different and they evolve and they change. And at this point, therapy was like on the low end of the totem pole.
Mhm.
So you're in for therapy and I'm only allowed to see you for 30 minutes of therapy a day. It's crazy. You
Right.
spend the rest of the hours sitting there. Anyway, I could go on and on about that. So it was like, all right, there's got to be more of like a wellness aspect. When you leave the hospital, when you leave the rehabs, that's it. What happens next, right? So I was like, all right, do I go geriatrics and do my own type of wellness business? What do I do? And then I got the job working with children, and I was like, all right, here's another gap. What do? You have kids who are born with, different diagnoses, and like, where do they go really to have fun?
Mhm.
That was you can get your services, your therapist, and everything, which is
Well,
fantastic.
I mean, sensory needs, right? So what does that mean?
Y-
Can you elaborate on
Yeah.
what a sensory need is?
So every person has their own kind of sensory need in a sense. Like for me, I twirl my hair,
Mm.
right? That's my calming mechanism. I'll cope. It's a habit. Um, but I can also, my body can handle that too. But like for me, my need, if I'm stressed or whatnot, if my hair's up all day long, as soon as I get home, hair's come down and I'm twirling. That is my thing to help calm and regulate my system.
So is that like the fidget spinners?
Yeah. You
That
fidget.
that
Yeah.
you need
You're just
something with your
constant
hands.
movement. It just keeps you busy.
I knew a guy in college who would need to rub tickets.
Yeah. Or
He
click a pen
Yeah,
or
like
yeah.
he rubbed tickets and like he would wear it out so much the damn ticket was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell
Yeah.
is that?
And something like that too can be what you need to pay attention,
Right.
right? You just need something to kind of take that energy of that fidget somewhere else so that you can focus. And that's, in school based as a therapist, that's kind of what you help. You learn, what the child's needs are and you help adapt, accommodate so that they can sit in a classroom
Mm.
and attend.
Yeah, so like I need like squeezies.
Yeah.
The ones that like you
The
squeeze your
stress
hand.
balls, yeah.
No, not the
Oh,
stress
the
balls.
exercise ones? Yeah.
Yeah. So like I bought like the 100-pound, the
Yeah.
200-pound one, and I'm sitting there squeezing it, and Mad's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I just need something to occupy myself.
Right. Yeah.
If not, I'm just gonna sit there and,
Exactly.
say
It's
dumb
able to
shit.
calm your mind and yeah.
Yeah.
You're all over the place. What
Yeah,
do I do?
exactly.
Yeah, it's just a calming mechanism. And now this is just like the very blanket of what kind of a sensory processing disorder is. And
Mhm.
that's where your body just can't handle. It's kind of spit firing all over the place.
Now this happens in adults too,
Yes.
right? And is it when as they grow, if they're not properly in a safe environment, do adults can they not handle that as well?
Yeah.
Is it just
It's a
like it,
cope. It's learning your body. If you can get to them young,
well,
right? The
I
benefits.
know you
Yeah.
do an adult version
Yes.
next door as well. So when you have the adults in there, do you see a different trend from them to a kid or
Um,
vice versa?
Not really. They're just
The-
larger or taller. That's
yeah,
about
right.
it.
They just got bigger.
And honestly, it depends on what the diagnosis is too.
Hmm.
Autism's a big thing.
Okay.
Everyone's. There's not one same autism. It's all different. It's just per child, per family. Like there's so much involved in it, and the basis is just learning about that child,
Hmm.
what they need, and creating that environment for them so they can live an independent life.
So how long would you say a child or an adult, you can answer both if you would like, how long do they need to be at your gym to kind of like have that calmness come over them? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how often do you see the calmness? I know you have a room in the back as well.
Right. We have a like
Uh
a calming room.
yeah,
Yeah,
so a
sensory
common
room.
room
So
when they gets oversensitive, right?
so we run our sessions in about 2-hour time session. That seems to be a good limit
Okay.
in a sense. Anything longer would just kind of overstimulate.
Right.
Kids get tired and then they get even more amped up because their body's tired and they can't handle that. So
Hmm.
2 hours seems to be like a good time frame. They have time to adjust when they come in, a
Right.
time to play or get whatever they need, time to calm down, and then that transition, okay, we're leaving, time to go home.
Right.
And it's all, sensory fit is all recreation. It's all abilities, and we will adapt as much as we can to any person that comes in there. Again, we're a complement to all the therapies that our families are getting.
Hmm.
This is just a fun way to do it.
Absolutely. No, I love that. So when they're finished at the gym, like what do you recommend for a healthy environment for a sensory needed person? And I'm going to say person because I'll dab on kids and
Mhm.
adults at that point. So what would you say um, a healthy filling is for the sensory fit to these people that come in that need it? Like obviously when they go there, it's just letting off some steam, trying to get into an environment that works for them. What would you say is like a good time frame? Like 3 times a week, 4 times a week? Obviously it's kind of like a little therapy
It is. So
session
it really depends on
on
the
the
person
person.
and what
Okay.
they're needed. Some people need some type of stimulation like sensory fit every day.
Hmm.
Some need it 3 times a day.
Right.
Some once a week. It really depends on what they are craving, what their body needs. But in turn, from a therapist standpoint, is sensory fit, creates an environment to help with self-regulation. But it's
Okay.
in a fun way. So the kids aren't coming to therapy. It's pretty much a souped up therapy gym.
Right.
But they have access to our space to help with self regulation and another space for the families, the parents to
Mhm.
have a resource center or a place where they can come and feel kind of at ease.
Well, it's like a I don't want to say normal person without sensory needs
Hmm.
goes to the gym, right? That's like a
Yeah.
therapy session for them,
Right. You
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 know.
work out, you need it, it's your therapy session. Same thing
Exactly.
for kids or persons that needs special accommodation
Hmm.
or different sensory needs. Sensory Fit is your gym.
Right.
My goal would love to have insurances if you have a child or adult on the spectrum or has that type of diagnosis where you need therapy. Okay, well you also need Sensory Fit
Right.
because it goes hand in hand for well-being.
You should do ice baths for them.
I should.
Yeah. Just drop them in. So
Should've.
like, here's
And
your
saunas. I
yeah.
lost out on that
Here,
sauna, but
uh-huh.
yeah, so and too, like Sensory Fit, we are a community space for children and now branching through adults with sensory needs.
Okay.
All abilities, everybody's welcome, but we are also very tailored to those who actually need specific things. And through Sensory Fit, they have access to play,
Mm.
events, and really sensory friendly um, programs so that, they can feel safe and inclusive environment. And everything we do, I'm the owner. I use my occupational therapy background to create programs that are really therapeutic mindset.
Okay.
And anybody,
Yeah. I
it's
love it.
beneficial for anybody.
Well, is sensory needs hereditary? Like, are they passed down from genes? Like, do you know that at all? Like, have
There's
you ever done
studies, they're
any?
still trying, genetics and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the answer.
All right. So
I don't know the
the
answer.
only reason I'm asking is because your play place is not just for sensory needed kids. Because obviously, if you got a family of 3, you got one sensory needed kid.
I can,
The other 2 need to come with them
right.
and figure out something, right? And have some fun. Maybe be with the one that needs sensory fit or sensory needs. But your play place is definitely geared for other kids as well, correct?
Correct. And I kind of use the example, especially in the beginning when I first opened, was let's say you have a family of 3 and everybody knows like Urban Air or Sky Zone, the
Yeah,
trampoline place,
yeah.
right? Well, I have a child who can't handle that. It's sensory overload. I personally hate it. It's crazy in there.
It's bad for
So
the
you
hips.
either have to divide and conquer,
Hmm.
right? Because you have one child who it's not going to be a fun environment at all for them. You divide and conquer, or one goes, or everybody stays home. You don't go to that. Where can you go as a family
Hmm.
that can target everybody?
Yeah,
That's Sensory Fit.
I love it. No, that's awesome. Yeah, because you want to be inclusive to the other kids as well. I've been to your place a few times, and I love it. The balls everywhere. I like the little scooters that they
Hmm.
ride around in the square or circle.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or a little racetrack.
yeah, the little racetrack. That's really cool. I love the fact that you have a calming room because a lot of kids that when they need to calm down,
Hmm.
they take that minute.
That room
You
is
take a minute.
also very calming. The parents love it too. They're like,
Yeah.
can we just come and
Yeah,
sit in
yeah,
there?
the parents.
Sometimes my greatest work comes from hiding myself in there when we're closed.
Right.
I love to sit there and have all the lights on and whatnot.
It's the
You know,
purple light or
it's
purple.
all that fades. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we also have families with kids who have medical needs.
Hmm.
So in the beginning, this is when I realized this is working. My vision is really working. Like it's
Hmm.
happening. I had a 2-year-old who multiple diagnoses, but one of the main one was like a seizure disorder.
Mm,
And anything that increases heart rate was bright. So sun, heat, anything that increased running, laughing
right.
would, if he was getting going, like that would cause seizures and multiple seizures. So they haven't been able to go to other play places or any kind of fun outings
Mm,
because he would just full blown have seizures.
right.
Right. In the sun, like he would come in, he had a hat and his sunglasses on. Our space, we also have dim lighting. So kind of helps with that overstimulation and the bright lights. He learned after coming a few times that if he took himself to our calming room, which is dark, it's cooler, there's some soft sounds and some fun lights in there, bean bags, right? Really chill. That if he was sensing a seizure's heart rate, and this is a 2-year-old,
Hmm.
he walked back there, it was him, his mom and I in the gym, and we're like, where's he going? Right? He walked back there and mom realized he sat back there for about 2 minutes, came back out and was fine. So she's like, he just self-regulated his body, calmed his body down, reduced having a seizure, all because of that room
And knew where to go.
and knew where to go.
That's
So
amazing.
he's able to play
Yeah.
like a 2-year-old wants to play, have access to all fun things, but also have his space that if his body gets overworked, I'm going to go back here and I'm not going to have a seizure. I'm going to chill for a minute, to the point where the parents even tried to create a space like that at home.
Now, do you have a timer on the calming room? Because obviously, if you have 30 kids in there,
Yeah,
You
honestly,
know?
no. And it hasn't been, I haven't needed to.
Okay.
It's been a really good flow,
Oh, good.
a little bit of everywhere. It hasn't been too crazy on
Right.
there.
I guess you don't pivot until you have to.
Right.
But no, that's amazing. Um, so with Sensory Fit going on, how has it been working with your husband on this as well as the other business that you guys are doing, which
Yeah.
is
So
power washing?
if
So
we backtrack to the thought of sensory fit happening and me
mhm.
verbalizing, I go to my husband like, "Hey, I want to do this." And he's like, "You're crazy." Like, I know, but I really like whatever was in me was like, "No, this has to happen."
Right.
Now, granted, at the same time, he had just started his own business, pressure washing on the side. He was still working for the township,
Mhm.
15 years in, just a little side gig. Who knows what was going to happen? So he's doing that. He's busy with that. We still have 3 kids, the crazy life, right? And then here I come like, "Well, you opened a you opened a business. I have this idea and I would like to try it." To convince him was crazy, right? And he's like, "Okay, well, there's nothing like this. So that means this is not a good idea.
Right.
It's not there's no other business model in a sense of what I was trying to create. So that means if no one else did it, that means it's a bad idea. It's not going to work." I was like, "Oh, don't tell me that." Like
Yeah.
something it's not going to work, like I'm going to make it work. So I convinced him, a lot of things happened. Again, I don't have a business background, so I have this great idea, this vision. Let's go for it. Oh, okay, you need money to do this. Like you don't just get up and going. So I convinced him. We drained our savings. Had to convince. I pitched the offer to my parents, who also were like, "All right, we're gonna support." So we kind of put some monies together and we gave it a shot. Had to find a location that was expensive
Mhm.
as a new business. I didn't know what I was doing. So where was the path for Sensory Fit? Originally, it was going to be a mobile business, a startup business. I rented a trailer, rented all the equipment, shoved it in there, had a local gymnastics place offer their space on Sundays when they didn't have any classes. I was very thankful. We set it up, kind of did a mock run. I cried. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I was like, this isn't going to work. Here I am now, like 10 grand in on the
Yeah.
trailer, everything we did. I'm like, this isn't going to work. This
Right.
is stupid. Like, no one's going to come. This is not what I thought. I was like, all right, still working, right? I'm still working full time at the same time. And somebody randomly, as I'm like on Facebook, friends and families, "Hey, you got any like space? Like, this is what I want to do." No one understood what sensory fit is. And somebody was like, "Hey, you should check out the Exton Mall." I like laughed, like everybody does at this point. Like, yeah, okay. The mall, there's nothing in there. How are we going to do that? But I was like, well, worth a shot, right? So then that's how that happened.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot to
And I
take
was like,
in.
all right, it's so cheap because there's nobody in there.
Right.
I'd taken the space as is. We tried to find one of the stores that I didn't have to do much to it. I don't do
Mm.
build out or demo. I really just intertwined sensory fit to the old children's place.
Well, let's back up for a minute and let's tell the aspiring entrepreneurs that are out there that yes, you are going to hate this every day, and by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, when you're getting ready to go to bed, you're like, I absolutely love it, and then you wake up and you're like, gonna have a great day today. You start your day at 7:30, 7:45. You're like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. This is bullshit. Just give me a stupid ass job and give me some benefits and I can go about my life.
I don't want to think
Yeah.
anymore. I just want to show up
Yeah,
and then come
exactly.
home and that's it.
And then by like 10:30, you're like, see, this is why I do.
Yeah.
Like I get to have lunch at my house. I get, go to the office, go to the gym, do whatever you
The
want to do.
emotional roller coaster. Sometimes I'll say this to Maddie. I'll be like, I just feel like I have like bipolar, right? I'm
Oh yeah.
so high on this is fantastic. We're
Yep.
going to do it. And then it's like, bam, out of nowhere. I hate life. This isn't working. I'm going to fail. Or let me just go back to the 9 to 5.
Well, we get to a point where, you know, the luxuries are no longer Prada bags or BMWs or, the 5,000 square foot house. Like that's not a luxury for us.
Right.
For entrepreneurs, I feel very confident saying this, that it's time with your family, free time whenever you need it, which we really rarely get, but it's because we don't want it at our age right now.
But if
Uh,
we want it,
but if we
we can
wanted
do
it,
it.
we could do it.
Right.
Right. If you want to go on vacation, still work, you could do it. Like I was on vacation for the last 17 days and I worked probably half of it, maybe 10 days.
Which was new for you because I was on vacation with you for like 8 of those days.
Right. And I was enjoying every bit of it. But I also didn't work. I didn't lose time with my family. I didn't lose time with my friends. I didn't lose time on my vacation. I took mornings a little differently this time.
Mhm.
Instead of jumping up and cracking beers, I jumped up and cracked the laptop open and started working
Yeah.
and enjoying my day. Going for a ride or going for a run or doing my little stupid calisthenic workout because I'm old now and I can't do real workouts and I
How's your
can't.
knee, by the way?
It's awful. It's absolutely awful. You walk in when you get 40 and you walk into the ocean and your knee just kind of hyperextends, you want to blame the booze, but it wasn't. It was
Mm.
just
The wave got you. You just walked in and
no,
tumbled.
old age got me. um, so the one thing that I always love asking, that, husband and wife, entrepreneurs, what's your morning routine? Like, what are your routines? Because when you guys get together, obviously magic happens and you want to have a collaboration. You know, some mornings you're gonna wake up and be like, "Yo, fuck you, I gotta go." I'm gonna go power wash, or I gotta go to the gym, dude. You're out today. Um, what kind of back and forth do you have? Do you guys set up meetings? Like, do you have like me and my wife? We have to sit there and say, we have to have a business meeting, or we have to have a marriage meeting, or we have to have a kid meeting. We have to do this because I'll be sitting there talking business, and she's like, "Oh, well, the kids have something to not." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about those kids right now. What are we talking about? Talking about the
It's our
business,
minds,
right?" And
all the
yeah,
different things. Yeah.
and that's why we always have to uh, hone ourselves in. How do you guys handle being entrepreneurs together? And
I don't know still. I
no,
mean, it's still fairly new. We're like 3 years in between both
mm,
businesses, and he's just about to settle on a new one. So now we're
no,
gonna
I love
add
it.
3 business, I guess 4 if you consider my OT business. Anyway, it's a lot. But I think the good thing for us is our businesses are in different seasons.
Hmm.
So my busy season is like the winter time. His busy season is summer, right? His is outdoors, mine is an indoor business. I think that helps quite a bit, at least the divide and conquer between the families,
Yeah,
right? The kids.
right.
My busy season is over. I'm now in my slow season. So I'm like the um shoot, what do they call it? The go-to parent right now, figuring out what to do with the kids, or if I'm at Sense Freight, they'll come with me. They're kind of my tag along
Megan,
while he's out doing everything.
you're the mom. You're
Well,
the
yes, too.
always go
Yeah,
to.
but now true. But since he's transitioned fully full time
Right,
into his business, his downtime is then being kind of that go-to parent
right,
to handle everything. Get the kids on the bus, or I'm out, I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then switch seasons, we switch roles.
right.
And I think right now in passing, we're still learning how to kind of manage, and almost I've struggled a lot with like my identity as now not a staff therapist anymore, but into this new entrepreneurial business owner, mom, wife identity. Like
Mompreneur.
how do you hone in on that, you know?
Well, I would say it's a lot of work. So when Mad got the cafe and I had the garage, it was like you have to fall in love with your wife again, type stuff. Like you really like now you're coworkers and you're sitting there like having conversations and you're doing this. And what if you don't like your coworker?
Yeah. See, I don't look at it as a coworker because
Right.
then that diminishes my husband and wife togetherness.
I,
And
I'm only talking about during the peak hours of working.
yeah,
Because if you came over, right, to my house and you opened up your laptop, you started working, and I'm sitting there working, like I would consider you, oh, she's a coworker.
yeah,
Doesn't mean we're doing the same thing.
right,
It just means that I'm working next to you, but I have to be able to understand, like, are you taking a phone call right now? Can we talk while we work or no?
right.
You know? So Mad needs like complete quiet. She needs her coffee and she needs to just sit there and hone
Right.
in and do her thing. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, like I'm sitting there thinking maybe we should do bread. Maybe we should fire these people. Maybe we should do this. And she's like, bro,
Yeah.
let me do this work.
I think for us, I don't I won't consider us coworkers. I just to me that just takes out the husband and wife thing for me. Like that foremost is number one.
Yeah,
Um, even if we're working alongside of each other. But I'm the owner of Sensory Fit. He is the owner of Northeast Pro Wash. As much as we are intertwined, we are also separate. I know exactly what is happening in his business and vice versa,
of course.
right? But we also try to keep it somewhat separate because I think if we're already stressed out and, to the max to begin with, I think if we truly intertwined it, it would just be one knot of chaos.
Right, 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 right.
And we're already trying to focus. All right, my focus, Sensory Fit. His focus, pressure washing and the new business he's about to acquire. Like,
Hmm.
and I will be there to support whatever he needs. And same for me. Now, most of the time I call him, hey, I need this fixed. Can you do that? And he's like, hey, I need you to make this phone call, like do an email for me. Right.
Right.
We kind of pick the things that we know we're good at and can help. And I am a very big supporter. I'm always, yeah, let's try it. What the hell? Like, what if it fails? We tried it, right?
Yeah,
He's more of that, well, the financials, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that'll come, right?
yeah,
That's where we separate and kind of most of our arguments come with. I'm like, hey, let's just give it a shot. I'm like, go for it.
I'll get.
Pretty much. Fuck
Yeah,
it. Let's just try it.
yeah.
Um, I
No,
don't know if
I
I've
love.
always been like that, but I think, the path that I've taken, finding that traditional kind of route sucked. Nothing worked. And it was just constant trying to prove myself to who,
Right.
trying to better myself and personally and professionally. No one cares,
Oh,
right? So you do it for yourself, you do it for your husband, your wife, your kids.
I was gonna say, when you have that mindset to just go for it, you gotta have fun with it,
Right.
knowing that you'll fail, hoping for the best that you won't, right? Going at it as fun, but if you don't take the learning lesson out of it and you don't have the fun with it, why are you gonna do it, right? So it sounds like you guys are just like doing your thing. Hey, I love this idea. And, Mike's like, yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, you know what? Go ahead, do it.
I'm pretty much going to do it
And
anyway. It's like,
exactly. I'm going to do whatever I
yeah,
want anyway. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, do your
yeah,
thing. But he's always going to be supportive.
right.
He's always going to be your husband. And that's one of the best parts that I love about married entrepreneurs, people who are married and are entrepreneurs, and they're able to go through those things, about those things, because a lot of people can't.
Right.
You can't talk money sometimes. You can't talk business sometimes, especially with kids.
Right.
Once kids come into the play, oh my God. Like, hey, dude, I need like 15 minutes of undivided attention to talk about
And
what
that's when they go crazy. It's like, nope.
yeah, exactly. And then you got the kids coming in and it's like they hear it. It's like something like pings in
It's
their
like when you
ear.
pick up a phone call, it's like, just give me 5 minutes. And they're screaming at the top of their lungs.
Right, exactly.
But I think too, like, we're not perfect. We are still trying to figure out this new life. And he's going to be very busy. And we thought he was busy now. And I'm very excited for him. But I also have this like suppressed stress and anxiety because he's going to be like not available at all, which is fantastic because this is what is needed for his business.
Right.
That requires a lot of myself. And I'm still growing my business. I have launched a nonprofit now. And it's like, okay, we can do this, you know?
Right.
And I'm things happen for a reason. I always try to find the positive, try to.
Right.
And either way, I wouldn't change this crazy life that we have right now. To be able to do it for ourselves, to
Right.
fight for ourselves, to see ourselves grow and who knows what we're about to build together. But besides all that, you know, and again, neither of us came from a business background. None of us, we didn't have family members that had their own business. My uncle had a cleaning business, but that's all I knew. Uncle
Right.
had a cleaning. I don't know what goes into that, right? And honestly, it wasn't until our trip to Mexico where we took it was our first ever like adult only vacation.
Right.
All of a sudden, best friends, right?
Mhm.
My husband and I, you and Mad, all of a sudden we now have 4 different businesses
Yep.
within 2 years, 3 years, maybe. It was like
within
garage
3, yeah.
doors, Northeast Pro Wash, Elegance Cafe, Sensory Fit.
Well, Sensory Fit came before.
Either whatever.
Yeah,
It all
yeah,
blends
yeah.
together. But
No,
it was
I know.
all at the same time, you know. But as business owners, you need to find people that understand. And so having you guys, you know, we all started from kind of a traditional, right? Or the attempt of a traditional grow up path. And then we just pivoted and here we are all full time into our businesses.
So me and Matt went a different route, right? We did a different path. We bought businesses
Yeah.
that were established. You and Mike started them from scratch.
Yeah.
And seeing the progression of what you guys are doing is incredible. Me, I don't think I had, I had a different idea about business. You know, I wanted to have employees. Mike is, he is full-fledged, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this, and he's going to make it work. And he's going to have a bigger margin than I've ever freaking dreamed of, which is fantastic. And that's where I get jealous about other people's paths is that, and it's not like I'm jealous. It's just more of a, I wish I would have done it that way instead of doing it my way. But again, I'm not going to be upset about how I did it my way either, And like, we're all coming to the same fruition, and we're all
whatever path we're still in the same bowl of craziness.
Yeah. Well, Terry, what was that movie? Almost Famous. What's he say? It's a long path to the middle.
Oh my God!
Right?
Don't be throwing out movie. I'm not the best at understanding movie clips right now. You guys can have that. Right now.
So he sits there and he's walking with him. He's like, oh, how do I know? He's like, he's like, you'll meet them later. He's like, it's a long journey to the middle. But it's a long journey for you. It's a long journey for Mike. It's a long journey for me. It's a long journey for Matt. And we're all going to meet in the middle at 50.
We keep saying
we keep moving the goal line.
I feel like the age goal that we have is just key. Well, I feel like, didn't we say by like 45 we would be like?
Well, we said late 40s.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 50 to kind of like solidify it. But I think late 40s, we should start seeing a little bit of return on our investments.
Right.
You're going to be rocking and rolling. Eagles are coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of hospitals that are coming your way. That is really cool, especially as a nonprofit, right? And when you become nonprofit, now you can work with the Eagles. I would probably try to get the Flyers' wives if I were you.
Right.
The Flyers' wives are crazy. Like I feel like they're like PETA. I think it's like PETA, Flyers' wives. And they'll kill you if anybody talks bad about them. You know what I mean?
So, when you have this vision and it's like, all right, I'm going to create this business, and really it's strictly passion for me because it's not for me.
Right.
It's for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly feel that. I think a lot of people that know me or meet me through.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, of course. I mean, I got to make a living.
I was gonna say, just a little bit.
But honestly, like if I could have done this for free, I would have. Right.
So shit. If we had the money,
if we had the money,
if money was not if money was not an object,
But
This would probably
it's
be
those,
your passion still.
this is still my passion,
I
which
love it.
whatever path it goes. And we were for a Sensory Fit as a for-profit, and our mission outgrew the business. So we have recently launched and started our own foundation. So our nonprofit arm is to really reach more families, reach more into the community to support those who really need us. And it also gives us more opportunities to really kind of grow and create what is in my head to make us the vision.
Well, for our followers, do you accept insurance?
No.
Oh, okay.
No insurance.
So no insurance.
Cash base.
Now, when you become nonprofit, are you allowed to accept insurance? Because I have a feeling that insurance will pay for. They won't pay for new butts, but they will pay for.
So there's different waivers for disabilities and diagnoses, so that the government would pay for certain programs, right? And Sensory Fit could be that, but that's a whole lot of paperwork involved.
Got it.
Maybe eventually it would help support the families more if Sensory Fit would accept.
Just put it in ChatGPT.
I know, right? Good old ChatGPT. I was so against it.
I know.
So besides all that, I too have partnerships with local universities, right?
That's
so
amazing.
We have Widener University, oh my gosh, Jefferson, hopefully Temple soon, and Salis, which is now Drexel. Their occupational therapy assistant program and master's and doctorate programs, their students come to Sensory Fit for their field work, their level 1 kind
That's
of
really
clinicals.
cool.
So I get to showcase Sensory Fit.
And you don't have to pay them, right?
I don't have to pay them.
Hell yeah.
But I also,
See you, sucker.
Yeah. I have to be there. I'm their supervisor. Anyway, it's the whole thing. But like, I do miss treating, right? I do miss treating and
Right.
that connection. And throughout my career, I've always had a student with me.
Mhm.
And so this is my way to give back to my profession in a non-traditional way.
I love it.
Because it's like, okay, we don't just have to work in hospitals or home care or school-based. What else can we do with our licensure and our experience to really provide something more special for the community that needs it? And so I get to take those students who are like, yes, OT, love and life, can't wait to graduate. I have no idea what they're about to like run into, but I get to provide them something different.
Yeah.
I get to teach them a little bit about OT. I can give them examples and whatnot, but they get to see the business background too, right? They get to see like, I'm now a business owner. I don't treat right now. I'm fully into Sensory Fit. And so there's different things you can do.
It's a different type of treatment, but
It
yes.
is. Yes, it is.
No,
It's
I
not
definitely
the
agree with
conventional
you.
OT direct, right.
Right.
But that has been that was always in the back of my mind because I've always loved having students or kids in high school that want to shadow, right?
Right.
It wasn't until like Salis University randomly found me.
Love
And
it.
I was like, oh my God. And then it was like a spiral effect. So Sensory Fit is still a baby. It's 2 years in. I'm barely above water. And it's like, I have the universities, I have CHOP and their Autism Research Center, and they are a huge supporter. The Eagles Autism Foundation, them and CHOP had invited us to their Huddle Up Challenge for Autism.
That's amazing.
Like it's just, and that's just the surface of the things that we've done and the providers that
You're just scratching.
Yeah.
I love it. And do you have a dream where you would want like a Sensory Fit in every hospital, or do you want a Sensory Fit in every Y? Like how would you want to see the ink blots?
So, things change, right? Your path changes. You don't, you can think one way and then you're off on this side road, right? I have always said I would love to have a Sensory Fit in each county, right? Just like where there's intermediate units, like the Chester County Intermediate
Urgent
Unit.
cares or
No urgent cares.
Oh,
no.
okay. No, I didn't know if that. What's an intermediate unit?
So, they have special needs preschools. Oh my God, there's so much stuff they do,
Got
right?
it. Okay.
They do driver ed class. They do so much stuff, but there's an intermediate unit in all counties.
Okay.
And I want a Sensory Fit to be
Hell yeah.
near or within reach of each
Why not
IU.
try to partner with them?
I tried. I'm still waiting for you to call me,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
type of thing. But, and again, I'm still
If
breaking the
you're
service.
listening,
Yeah.
let's go. We're ready to roll.
You can find me.
Yeah. And we got money too.
But yeah, so either that, but lately I feel like, and who knows, I could still have that. Lately, I've been having this like envision of sensory fit being in all the hospitals,
Hell
all the
yeah.
especially like the pediatric hospitals, CHOP.
Yeah.
They're off-site urgent care locations, or they're inpatient. New Moors is now with us and support us. You know, we are such a beneficial need for all of those kids that they see.
You are literally creating a wing at a
That's
hospital.
literally,
That is
yeah,
insane, dude.
yeah.
Do you understand?
And
Like
it's just
that is so big.
yeah, I just need one of those, higher ups to sit down and have a conversation with me, because
I'm sure they
already
will.
2 years in, I'm having CHOP needs me, New Moors needs me. The Eagles are like, heck yeah. All the local therapy business behavior companies are like, hey, we need you. How can we partner up, or we want to rent your space for our families? And how awesome would that be to provide this safe and fun space, especially for those families and those children that are in inpatient hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
For them, if they're able to leave their hospital room, whatever they're in there for, to go to a play space inside the hospital, right?
Yeah.
That is supported with therapists. We're not giving you therapy, right?
Yeah.
But we can accommodate your play and take your mind off of everything else.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit, and I
absolutely love it. That is really
that's
cool.
like, I could just keep going on and on. And besides all of that, like, I want kind of sensory fit as like your social hub, your social enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And within that, I will hopefully have a large enough facility, whether it's like our main hub, our headquarters, or whatever we want to call it, where we're also a training center for the Special Olympics. We're your location.
That's
so between,
big.
that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And we got to take our baby steps and follow that path to get to those things. And I don't know what that looks like, because this is brand new, but I think we're getting there.
I was gonna say, dreaming big and having those goals like that.
But between all that, I still need to learn how to be a business owner. I still got to do the admin work. I still have to figure out
why
marketing.
hire someone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
Come on, money.
easier said than done, right?
Yeah, right.
The new business owner, I'm in my slow season. I'm doing it all.
I know.
But those are growing pains too.
Oh yeah, and reading all those things, you get into a point where you don't understand a lot of things. So now it's like you get a dictionary and you're like, oh, what does this mean? And you go back and forth.
Yeah.
But you learn it.
Right.
And then trial and error
Mm-hmm.
is probably one of the best things that I've ever felt was a great tool to learn from. In QuickBooks and everything with business, EBITDA and P&Ls and reading the reports and trying to figure out.
I still ask you. I'm like, what does this mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean,
that's not my wheelhouse.
And it's so a lot of people need to understand those things if they're trying to sell their business. But they also, you want to know your numbers.
Right.
I always tell you, know your numbers. Learn
and
your
there
numbers.
were times where I would start a conversation with you. I'm like, please don't tell me. I need know your numbers. Like, you would say it all the time, and I got it. It was frustrating to me because I'm not a numbers person. It's new. If I didn't have to deal with the financials or understand my numbers, thank God, right? But I'm not. I have to know that. But it's like, I don't want our conversation as you, my friend. Do not come at me from a business standpoint.
Right.
Like, it was just, but you need to know your numbers.
Well, when you're in a situation like you are, you need to know what the goal is to hit per week, per day, per kid.
Mm-hmm.
I need 20 kids per day, 5 days a week to hit my number. All right, but if I'm only open 3 days a week, now what do we need to do? All right, so we need to hit 18.5 kids per day And
This is, I get it. But
you
like in the
know,
beginning, this is where I just lost you. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
And this is what I'm trying to explain
right.
to people who are aspiring to come up like you and come up and do these certain things, is like, you want to know exactly what you need to sell, when you need to sell it,
Hmm.
and how many days do you need to be open to sell it.
Right.
Uh, so like for your business, if you're open 3 days a week, all right, great. So here's what we need to do. It's just like Mike with his power washing.
Right.
Like, I need X amount of fleets to do, and I need X amount of houses to do in order to make this work for my salary.
Right.
It's just every business starts learning. Terry's back there like, I need about 300 podcasts per day to buy my mansion down in Florida. Look at him. He's nodding his head. He's like, yep, that's about it. So these are the things that we want people to understand, is like, if you know your number of what you're trying to do, then you can start manifesting on how you want to do it. You can market, you can get the word out, tell your friends, give people incentives like, hey, if you sign these 2 people up, I'll give you a free month. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something crazy like that. And people will go and jump in. But again,
It's all learning.
it's all learning.
I'm still learning that kind of back end from the business standpoint, knowing my numbers, knowing what they mean, knowing if I give a discount or like how does that reflect the business.
Mhm.
What are my busiest days? What are my slowest days? Especially during a slow season, how can we kind of pivot the business so we're not just bleeding out money, but we're capitalizing on our busy days? Do we close certain days? A lot of evolving.
Well, does it make it easier now that you have 2 years under your belt?
Yes.
Yeah, so now
So
you can look back
I'm
and
like,
like,
all right, so like
we did
this
this.
year, I closed a little bit more,
Good.
and really focused on the busy time. So kind
Yeah.
of forces more people to come in during the busy time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I will say, this is our second, or I guess third season. And I kind of know what to expect. And, it won't start to get busy again until October.
I was gonna say,
Weather is a big factor
you have a
too.
number to beat.
Yeah.
When you first started and I said, know your
Yeah.
number, and you're like,
I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't have one. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. You don't have nothing to go off of. Like,
Right.
what did you do last year? A lot of people, they'll look at, all right, so from July 1st to July 31st, what did we do?
Right.
And then you'll start breaking it down by, per month, per week, per day.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, we're beating that number right now. Awesome. That's great. Now you have a little bit of, weight underneath your belt. So where you can start looking back on the 2 years, like your
Right.
first year, you're like, all right, July wasn't that great. Last
I would
year,
say,
July was a little bit
yeah,
better.
it's nice having now a couple years to look back on it
Absolutely.
and to really see this worked, this didn't work,
Mhm.
but there's still um a lot of unknown in a sense of like, where do we go from here?
Mhm.
And all of it is that trial and error. Like I'm not following, I'm not your typical business, right? I don't think any business is, but this is like a very niche type of business. And it's like, all right, I'm creating my own business model. I'm creating my own programs, and I have to trial and error that out to the community, see what works.
Mhm.
And that takes a lot of risk, and as a small business, how much risk can you take? But
Yeah,
for me, I'm like, F it, let's go for it.
I was
Like,
gonna say, you
doesn't
got.
work? I mean, fine, I'll get the feedback then. And then, all right, I'm going to do a new path. I don't know.
What did Terry say? He's got to go out on a ball of fire, blaze of blaze of fire. What the hell was it, Terry? Blaze of glory. I'm going out in a blaze of glory. So, as a new business owner, you got to take that risk.
Yeah.
And you got to go balls to the wall.
And it's scary.
Of course it is.
Because,
Everything is.
As business owners, your family will also
Yes.
either reap the benefits or feel that stress.
Right.
So it's a lot on the line. But honestly, with us now transitioning to these businesses, our oldest is 16, almost 17. And she's been there from day one of me going back to school. So she's seen mom go through school, go through jobs, kind of struggle. And now our little ones, who are almost 7 and 8 now, can now remember kind of the evolution of both businesses right now. And it's like, never in my wildest dreams did I think us going this path would have an impact on them. It just wasn't even in my mind.
Right.
And it wasn't until
You're selfish.
our middle child was like, Mom, I want to learn.
Right.
And then our oldest was like, well, I'm going to take an entrepreneurial class in high school. And I'm
Love
like,
it.
oh, okay. Like, this is a lot more than I thought. And it's teaching our children a different path.
She could be an investment for you.
Who
You know,
knows?
she can come in and be the business brain of it
Right.
and like take your businesses to the next
Let me
level.
be the visionary and you handle everything else.
Right. And
I
she's like-
consider our middle child she'll be the new CEO of Sensory Fit.
her head would
Yeah.
probably spin and be like, Mom,
Yeah.
no.
She'll come in and a lot of our families know our kids. We call, it's a whole family approach, right? And our middle child, Marin, she'll be like, Mom, you have more than 20 kids in here. So you can't have that because that's just like our goal. We don't want to have any more than 20 kids in here. Just
Right.
max it out. And she'll count them. She was in the other day and she's like, I want to know how to check people in. So I told her that. She's like, she turns all the lights on. So she's slowly taking more responsibility.
I love it.
The best part is she now loves to clean up after every play session.
Yes.
I'll give her like $5.
Hell yeah.
She doesn't even ask for it. And she just knows it's the end of the play session. We got to put everything back and sanitize.
Yeah.
So we have a sanitizing gun and we go through a lot of sanitizer because she's very clean. But she will go through, she knows what needs to be hand cleaned,
Yeah.
what can be sprayed down, where everything goes. And I'm like, this is great.
Hell yeah.
It's teaching her responsibility. It's teaching her the business.
That's
And then I don't have to do it.
That's amazing. I love it.
And it's also even your kids.
Yeah.
Right? They, are like full-blown Sensory Fit. They recommend Sensory Fit to
They
their
talk
class.
about they talk about
so
it.
they're even, and that's fun to see. Again, you
Mhm.
don't think about the trickling effect that it has within the family.
Right.
Never in my dreams did I think that
Yeah.
I would get to say my kids are involved. They have more compassion. They have more empathy for those with different needs.
Mhm.
And they also get to see the business side. They also our oldest has her own side business now. It's doing characters, and she works with Sensory Fit and goes out to other, community events who need different characters.
She's the best Bluey I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yes.
No doubt. She's gonna
Bluey,
kill.
yeah.
She's gonna kill
She's
me
gonna
for
kill
that.
you.
Yeah.
Even Elmo. I mean,
Yeah.
Elmo was talk of the town when we were at the Eagles event. Elmo showed up with Sensory Fit to the link for the Huddle Up Challenge.
That's awesome.
Oh, but yeah. Everyone could have cared less about Sensory if it's like, where's Elmo? And they just knew Elmo was associated with us. It's a great marketing tool.
No, I love it.
But again, she got to feel good and handed out all her little business cards and do her thing. So it was very fun to see.
That's really, really cool. So we're gonna take a step back. I want to ask you about business coaching.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it would be better to take so I know you did a coach,
Mhm.
Freckle Strawberry with Carly. She's fantastic. Is there would you say taking the coach immediately was beneficial, or do you think you would rather have like 3 years in, fumble a lot, and then come have a coach?
There's different phases.
Okay.
So again, I didn't even know what a business coach was. I had no idea.
Well, you won this, right?
So I applied for my parents' daily local news. They're like, here, look at this article. It was the Chester County Economic Developmental Council.
Yes.
Their new business of champions grant. It's like
Really cool.
all small businesses, new business, you apply, you write your story, who you are, what you want to do, and then they interview and you go through the process. And if you get to that and you're chosen, you get a grant to use towards all of their business people.
Right.
I could have chose a lawyer, marketing, tax, accountant, but my Darlene, who was my go-to, she was like, you need Carly. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what I need. Sure.
Sure,
Whatever.
no problem.
And then she is like, the freckled strawberry. And I'm like, what? Right? But I was like, but again, I didn't know what I needed. I
Right.
won this grant. I'm like, all right, I'm going to trust you. Right, Darlene? Thank you. And
That's awesome.
I'm so glad. Again, I didn't know I needed anything.
Right.
No idea. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God I found Carly or, went through that random path of like, yeah, I'll send in a letter of who we are. And you know what, I'm not going to get picked. Right. Um, Lo and behold, I did. And then I think that changed the path. It changed the course of Sensory Fit. It honestly, with no business background, it was very beneficial.
Mhm.
It kind of really helped me know my numbers and kind of focus on the business path versus the vision,
Mhm.
right? Because you can have the vision, but that's not going to go anywhere if you don't know anything about business.
Mhm.
So in the beginning, 1,000%, that helped me. I was able to double, almost triple my revenue within a year and a half
Right.
based on steps and just understanding a little bit more about what it was like to own a business.
Okay.
Now, there's times where I don't need anybody.
Right.
I don't need Carly right now.
Mhm.
But then as your business grows, I would like a coach. Do you know what I mean? So then I would call Carly like, hey, this is happening. What, help me sort through this.
Mhm.
Help guide me. Am I thinking right? Are we on the right path? Let's look at our numbers.
Right.
I think there's different phases. I agree having a business coach or just somebody who has more experience than I do in something that I'm not sure about.
Mhm.
Because it's always nice to bounce ideas off of somebody or think of it differently.
Now,
So I am for coaching or advice, but it's not always needed
right.
either. So
Now,
my path is yes, I'm 100% agree. Business coach or somebody within,
right away.
yeah.
Okay. Would you mentor somebody if they came to you?
So I would stay in my lane, right? I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a business. I'm not a tax
Well, a lot of the
accountant.
coaches aren't either. So,
Right. But at the same time, I can give you things that worked for me or
Mhm.
didn't work for me. I can give you like that type of advice, but cause I don't feel comfortable giving that type of advice. Now, if you want to talk therapy, right? If you
Right.
want to talk, that's my wheelhouse.
Got it.
And I could mentor you that. I could mentor you on how you want to open your own sensory gym or, what kind of path you want to take that's outside of the conventional therapy world. That is my wheelhouse, right?
Well, I mean, you want to look at aspiring entrepreneurs that want to open up like a
I
sensory fit, or they want to open up um, something in that realm with dealing with kids or therapy.
Right.
Um,
I'm hoping they come to me first
that's
and
well,
we
that's what I'm
collaborate.
saying, and
But
that's what I'm saying. Like you can mentor.
yes,
You
in
can
that,
mentor in this regard.
correct.
Doesn't matter about your numbers. Like, hey, know your numbers. You could say the
Right.
things, whether you're doing them or not, doesn't matter.
Right.
Right. You know exactly what you're talking about.
And yeah, I mean, I see the need for that.
Mhm.
And I'm there if anybody does have questions. I do love just being that support system really
Mhm.
is kind of what it is. I mentor, sure, if you want to call me that or want to do that, I mean, fine. But like, I'll be your support.
Right.
I'll be your cheerleader
Hell
because
yeah.
I've been through it.
Mhm.
There's ups and there's downs, and not having anybody to truly understand that. Like if I didn't have you and Mad already have those businesses or go through it at the same time, I'd keep it to myself or my husband. And like, we're both winging it. We don't know what we're doing.
Right.
You need to have kind of that team, that kind of little side entourage that really gets what you're going through and you can really just bounce ideas and struggles with and just be a cheerleader. So mentor, sure, but I just want to be your cheerleader. I'm
Right.
always big. If you have an idea, go for it. What's the worst
Mhm.
that can happen?
You go belly up,
Yeah.
bankrupt,
Yeah.
and then you just go right back to
Yeah.
working and
My
until
plan B is your 9 to
60.
5 job.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Our plan B is 95 jobs, and we're like,
yeah.
this
And
can't fail.
And the fact that you and I are sitting here in this studio at a podcast right now
Yeah.
having this conversation when 3 years ago you're at the you're at the Navy Yard. I'm still in therapy. Mike's at the township. Mad's doing real estate.
Yeah,
And now look at us. Like,
I know.
if we didn't take those risks, we'd still be doing that.
If you told me that I was going to do a podcast, I would have laughed right in
Right.
your face. It's just like I laughed in Terry's face when he told me that
I
you're
heard
gonna,
him just laugh right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'll laugh right in his face when he told me that I was going to do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
like, I have no clue what
Yeah.
I'm doing, but it's been a
But
lot of fun.
yeah.
And, you know, what they do with the blue light, it kind of calms me down. And
This is your sensory room.
this is my sensory
Yeah.
room, right? It's all soundproof, and you know nobody was ever going to hear when Terry beats the shit out of me after we're done a podcast. But you know, I'm rolling with
Right.
whatever punch comes my way. I'm just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's figure this out.
Right.
You know, I got a business offered to me. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Right.
Got that. Now I'm buying another one, and I tried to get a $7.5 million loan for another business yesterday, and the dude was like, "Yeah, no, dude, you're
It's like, all right,
tapped."
I'll come back in about a year. Give me a year, I guess.
He's like, "You're tapped right now." I was like, "All right, all right." I
Yeah.
was like, "But I kind of want it."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sorry, man."
Right.
I was like, "All right, so I'll see you in a couple years." But you know, what the hell are we doing? We're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to put food on a table, keep our kids safe, go to school, you know, clothes on their back, heat the house. Well, Mike has the heater.
Yeah.
He throws like 50 cords of wood in.
We have the wood stove. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, we're doing it.
Right. Now, and a lot of people I get like, oh, you're doing great. I see you like all over the place. You must be doing fantastic. And that's like, yeah,
Yeah. Doing
we are.
fantastic.
But you also don't see
Monetarily, no.
you don't see kind of that fight, the struggles you go through trying to survive and keep businesses alive
Right.
while also supporting yourself.
Right. And it's not just supporting
Yeah.
yourself. You're supporting a family of
Yeah.
3. You know,
Children are expensive.
they are, and they're tournaments, and they're
Mhm.
the way they eat. Oh my God, my kid,
Yeah.
my son.
Except when we go on vacation, we buy all the food and then they don't eat anything.
Exactly, and I think he's got a tapeworm right now. Like the dude's he's like eating the actual box that the things come
Growth
in.
spurt. Yeah.
Yeah, growth spurt, tapeworm,
Not tapeworm, growth spurt.
all the same. I know you health nuts are always very particular, but no, it's really tough, and a lot of people like they want to believe that the entrepreneur is making tremendous money, living the lavish lifestyle, looking at social media like, you know, people with the bling on and
Right.
you know, they're on yachts and this and that. That no, dude,
I would be making more, triple. I'm not even taking a salary if I went back to work.
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
But like you do,
I'm
I
making
do
half.
this for my passion. And I also do this for what we call freedom.
yeah,
It's free in some ways
that's a luxury.
but
to
it's
me.
also not freedom. You're working 24/7, 7 days a week, but there's also the freedom aspect. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my family. If I need to go to a school event or do whatever I need to do for the family, I don't have to ask somebody. I
Right.
don't have to make it up on the weekends if I need a day off during the week.
Right.
That is what fuels me. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to talk to somebody else and ask them permission to attend my child's event. Right?
Yeah.
Or have to make it up on the weekend if I needed something off, which is in the
Or-
therapy world. That's kind of what you
or
do.
watch it in a video later. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't, like you get to be with your family.
Right.
That's the most important thing to me right now
Right.
is that I get to be with my family. I get to watch my kids grow, go watch them go on the bus. And then I get to go to work. I get to go to work and I get to come home. I get to have dinner with my family. Now, there's a lot of in between that a lot of people don't realize
Right.
that there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of, you know, tough days, a lot of stressful days. You're doing the same thing.
Right.
But the thing, what, you know, me and Matt talked about before I quit the Navy Yard was, dude, you're going to you have tough days at the Navy Yard. You have tough days working for somebody. And then those days started becoming more and more tough days instead of good days. And then I was missing my kids.
Right.
And I was missing dinner sometimes. And like I was, working until 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, they're in bed right now. I was like, hopefully they can get home, eat dinner real quick, and get up to bed. That's not fair.
Right.
That's not where I want to be. I want to be exactly where you're at. Doing this, doing that, having a nice new space, having the Eagles, like that's awesome. The
I
Moors.
will never forget that email and where I was and what
Right.
I was doing. I was actually meeting with a friend, Ashley, who owns Titan Roofing. We were having just like a meeting together, like how can we help, like networking, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we met at like my favorite coffee shop. And as soon as she left, it's like, all right, I'll check my emails. And there was this Chop and Eagles. We want Megan, we want you. It was specific. I cried. I'm in the middle of this coffee shop. Like, what the hell? And I'm like, what do I do? Oh my God. I think pretty sure I called my husband first. And then I called Maddie. I was like, what? Guess what happened? And then it's just, again, sometimes being so in the business, it's hard to see how far we've come. It's not until I have to do things like this or I'll write it out. These are our partners. This is who we've helped and how many families. And we haven't even really reached the potential where we're going, but
we are our own worst enemies, right?
right.
We're
But to take that win, that's a huge win. And it doesn't
absolutely.
have to be that big, right? It doesn't matter. You take those wins and you're like, I did that. That was me.
Meg, when somebody wants you and wants your product and what you're selling, the Eagles have enough money to like we'll start our own.
Right.
We'll create a new Megan.
Yeah.
No, they want you.
Right.
Because you're creating something big.
And I do struggle with that. Again,
Yeah.
I'm still learning the different mindset and, there can be competition, there can be collaborations and, there can be somebody that just comes in with more money and investors like, I'm going to do what you're doing. I have the cash on hand right now. They can just up and do it. But I'm starting to be more confident in myself and it's okay. They're coming for, like you said, for me. I'm still learning that. I have a lot of insecureness because I'm not a business owner. I am now, right?
Right.
So I'm still coming to terms with my identity and like, okay, you really coming for me or are you coming for the business?
Right.
But I'm slowly learning that no, they could do this, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're coming to ask me. And I absolutely love that. And I'm slowly starting to really open up and kind of let my guard down as far as let others in or to just try different things.
I was gonna say you have like you get nervous about competition, like anybody that has like, deep pockets, they can come in and they can probably crush you.
Right.
No.
Right.
Because the thing is that they don't have the passion. They're sitting there. If they throw a lot of money at this, that means they're trying to get a money grab.
Right.
And that means they're not passionate about it. You are a passionate one. The reason why Norells,
Nemours. Yeah.
the Eagles, they're coming after you. They might want Sensory Fit name because that is an awesome name. But they're coming after you because you have the passion. You have exactly what this type of business needs to go forward. There is nobody out there that can match you right now. I don't care how much money they throw at you.
Right.
I could sit there if I had $100 million and I threw 90 at it. I still wouldn't have the passion that you did, and I still wouldn't be able to handle the situation like you would.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much money you're throwing at it.
Right.
Doesn't matter. They could have the cooler equipment, they could have cooler stuff, but they do not.
And that's where my mindset goes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm slowly turning that down a bit.
Good.
But I also have to remind myself the fight that I've gone through for Sensory Fit.
Mm-hmm.
So way in the beginning, you have a business, you get your LLC, you do all of that. You need insurance. You need insurance. So even from the beginning, I was fighting. I'm fighting for those kids, those adults that need sensory fit, that need us.
Right.
And now I'm fighting for the community to need us as well. Um, the insurance companies see otherwise,
Mm.
right? They see when you use the word special needs or disabilities, or if you list out diagnoses and whatnot, immediately I'm high risk. I'm not insuring you. Denied. So even before I opened, I almost couldn't open because I couldn't get insurance. No one would insure my business. One, they didn't really understand it because it's not your traditional coffee
Disgusting.
shop or whatever.
Right.
And now they're not going to tell you it's because of the clientele that I'm trying to support.
Right.
Because they can't say that. They can't say, I'm denying you because you promote towards special needs, right? They're just going to deny you because you're high risk. You
And
deal with kids.
They should be ashamed of
I
themselves for
had
this.
a company in Florida laugh in my face and tell me, good luck finding somebody who's going to insure your business. Come back to me in 6 months and I'll insure you for like $1 million.
I'd love for you
And
to
I'm
tell.
like,
I would love for you to tell us the name so we could blast them. But no,
isn't I
don't-
just
like,
say
we're
since
not. We're
it
not
was
gonna,
a Florida business, but
yeah. No, I got
agency.
it. I got you. I got you.
So right off the bat, just to even get moving, I thought I almost couldn't even open. I was like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. Right. I thought we could do it, but that's out of my control.
Right.
Found somebody to insure us legally, like everything's fine. Then everything was great. Business is growing. I wanted to expand our space. I wanted to expand our age group.
Mhm.
And, being at the mall, I was able to get the space next door to me. And we hit another like slap in the face. The current company that was insuring us was like, we're dropping you. I'm like, what? Right? You remember I was not well.
Right.
We're dropping you. They were still going to insure me like through the year, right? But they're not going to insure my new space, the extra square footage. I almost doubled my square footage having the two spaces. One, they realized I now had like a legitimate website versus beginning. It's just kind of like this is my business plan type of thing.
Right.
Now I have Google reviews. We have 145, I think, if not more Google reviews.
Holy
So
shit.
yay.
Wow.
If you haven't left one, please do.
You're not kidding.
And I don't pay you to leave me a review. That is pure. If you had an experience, please leave us a review.
I'm a bad friend. I didn't even look at your reviews.
So, so anyway, so these companies, they would look at my website and then they would look at they flat out said, well, we looked at your Google reviews and there's families in there that would like list autism or a different diagnosis. My website would list it. It listed my background from occupational therapy. So besides getting denied from the current agency, I couldn't get a new agency to insure us. So because of that, I got this new space. I got a loan to help me. This is my first ever loan. Everything's been out of pocket for me to expand into the space, to expand our programs and our reach. I was like, yes, this is it. Let's go. It took me 3 months. I wasted. I put so much time and effort. I'll say wasted now because things still happened, but I was able to get insurance. But that wasn't after going 3 months of, I think we went through 50 different agent companies,
Right.
different brokers. I finally found one who would not back down with the underwriters and everything. And we finally got through one underwriter and they're like, check your website. The moment I took out autism, sensory needs, or anything that kind of labeled in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 offers the next day. So how can you tell me that I'm just getting denied because of too much square footage or we don't insure this type of business? But yet the moment I took anything about sensory needs, all abilities or this and that, I get 3 offers the next day.
Oh, because certain people would probably take that to the social media aspect and be like, oh, they're not doing this because of this.
And they wouldn't, the ones that would deny me, it was like an automatic denial. And there was no like, why? They couldn't even they wouldn't even give you an answer because You know why.
They don't want.
They can't say it. They can't
Right.
say you're too high risk because of special needs.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Disgusting.
okay, but you're going to ensure an axe throwing place where you can get drunk and have alcohol and throw axes. But I can't have a community of little recreation space
That's really
for
safe.
children.
That's really safe.
Right. There you go. So that's where my fight. And I'm like, I just have that fight to be able to fight for my families and for these kids and adults that need sensory fit. Like, this is my passion for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm creating this for you.
That's ridiculous. And it's like you got Topgolf who has like 4 floors, and you see the people that fall in the nets. They fall in the nets. They're like, ah,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, that's it. You're done.
Right.
Seriously, that's it.
Yeah.
No, the insurance company should see that online and be like, no more insurance.
Right.
You're done.
And so from behind the scenes, there's extra fight that happens no matter what kind of business that you have. You're always going to run into these things. And I'm learning as a new business owner how to handle my emotions. I've also within my business, especially in the beginning, people know about us now, but I got so many messages saying pretty much you suck and you're taking advantage
Really?
of the special needs community.
Interesting.
I would get some pretty nasty conversations happening saying I'm taking advantage. Yep.
Wow. Well, online?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's actually good. I mean, you didn't respond to them, did you?
I get pretty stubborn quickly. And my husband, he's like, dude, you can't say that. I'm like, I'll delete it. So I kind of write what I want to say, give it a minute, and I'll delete it. And then I'm like, I'm fighting. I'm not taking advantage. I'm here providing you something different that is needed, right? This supports you. I come back a little passive aggressive, but friendly, right? Like, no, I'm not taking advantage. This is who we are. This is who I am. This is what I provide. Whether you like it or not, that's fine. You don't need to come. I had people say, oh, well, I can get that ball pit and have it at home. Like, yeah, you can. But for my kids that actually need that, they will come to my space and get valuable time out of that random Amazon ball pit or whatever.
Right.
So it's like bridging that, sensory fit provides that inclusive environment. That's, everything we do is built on inclusivity. You have other businesses can slap that word in.
Yeah.
You see it a lot more now, which is great. And I wish all these newer businesses, I hope they understand what that word means. I hope that they can understand if you welcome everybody, that you can also adapt to everybody that comes in. No judgment.
Right.
That's really it. No judgment. You want your customer, your client, your family to come in and not feel judged because of some type of need or a meltdown or just, whatever it is. You come into sensory fit and I will adapt the gym however you need. I'll close it down early for you. I will, we have communication boards. I know how to work the communication iPads and, my team, we're either therapists, special ed teachers, advocates, or even just parents of special needs. We get it. Right. So I kind of have that newer kind of fight to really provide that experience for those other businesses that want to be that. And I get calls all the time like, hey, we want to do a special needs fitness class. Can you help us?
Yeah.
Right. We want to do a different program. What can you do? That type of thing. So
I love it. And the Special Olympics is going to be cool if you ever get that
Could
up
you
and running.
imagine?
That would be really, really fun. No,
anyone who has a very large building and open, please come out. But yeah, I'm very excited for where we're going and, what we can provide. But I'm also very excited to learn myself and challenge myself in this new role of mine, my new identity as a business owner and entrepreneur.
Right.
And, what can I do to challenge myself to grow myself professionally and just kind of keep going that way.
It's a hard identity to assume.
It took me a while. I really struggled with who am I now?
Right.
A mom, the kids take so much of your time and you're thinking of laundry and you're thinking of all those things and I can't focus, right? You were saying Maddie's like, oh, I got to take the kids here as you're having like a business meeting, right? Same thing.
Right.
I'm like, oh, wait, who's home today? What do we need to do? I leave here, I got to go to lacrosse practice for my daughter, right? But I'm being that business person right now that needs to be. And it's like learning who I am, and I'm being more confident, I guess, in myself and
Right.
trusting myself, really just kind of letting go where this takes me.
No, I definitely agree.
And I have the support of my husband, my family, my friends, you guys,
Yeah.
you know.
No, and you know, when you start going through this, you definitely feel alone.
Yeah.
And there's certain friends that you kind of wave bye to,
Right.
during it, and you're just like, man, it sucks, man. I really love that. I really love them, but they just don't understand where I'm going.
Right.
And then you start finding other people who are definitely going through it, and even having that support system
Right.
still feels like you're alone because, you know, when that 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning wake up, that hits you like a ton of bricks. You're like, oh shit, what am I
Yeah.
doing? What
I
am I
woke up at
doing?
like 3 a.m. the other night. I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I say this on the
Yeah.
podcast. Or for our golf outing that we'll go over, I'm like, I wrote my speech. I was
Right.
sleeping, or I thought, and I woke up at like 2 and I was like, I got to write this down. So in my notes, I wrote my entire speech that I have to do for our outing. And it's like, those are like, that's probably like the best moments. And it's like, I got to write this
and
down.
you use that time.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you wake up and you're like wide awake and you're
Right.
like, I know I need to go back to bed. No, damn that. Let's
Yeah.
go.
3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah, let's rock
I'm
and-
at the computer.
Yeah.
Doing social media, which is
No.
annoying, but I love it at the same time.
Love
All
it.
that kind of stuff. But
So, Terry, can you bring up Sensory Fit's golf outing on their Instagram, please? Thank you. You have a notification there.
I do.
How did he get
How
your?
are you
How
in-
did he
oh,
get
wait,
your?
no, that's his?
No, it's I'm kidding.
like, wait a
I'm
minute.
kidding.
Do that, the middle one there, or either one. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so Billy's Legacy Foundation and Sensory Fit are kind of collaborating this year in a golf outing. I cannot wait. Can you explain a little bit more what's going on here?
Yeah. So
there's a huge
that's
thing
the ball
going.
pit that, I get a lot
You're
of.
taking advantage
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Look, they're racing.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So Billy's Legacy Foundation is a local nonprofit. There's both of our families kind of commingled there.
Love it.
I met Kelly through Sensory Fit.
Okay.
It's funny how things work, right?
Yeah.
It's just funny. When I first opened Sensory Fit, one of my fellow OTs was like, hey, my neighbor, I think would love it. Her son was just diagnosed with autism. I'm like, great. So she was always like Cindy's neighbor.
Right.
And it wasn't until maybe 6 months in that we got friendly and we're chatting. And now, I mean, we just went on vacation together, right? Like we're intertwined. But I'm very thankful for her and her foundation, her parents, just her family for the support. They've been there with me from day one. They've grown with me. So through that, Kelly comes to me and was like, hey, we have our 17th annual golf outing coming up.
17 years. That's
17 years.
Crazy.
We want to support you. We want to support Sensory Fit. And so all proceeds that are donated from now through that event will go towards our relocation and our inclusive programs that we want to provide.
And taking advantage of people.
And taking advantage of people.
I got you.
Yep. So I am so incredibly grateful and thankful. I am so excited for this. I have no idea what to expect. I don't golf. I've never been to a golf outing. So I was like, Kelly, you need to hold my hand. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll show up. So this is one of their largest events. It's on August 8th, a Friday at the Downingtown Country Club. We are hoping to have an amazing turnout, possibly some pretty fun special guests or golfers attending.
Absolutely. Do we have any Eagles or Flyers coming?
I cannot say
what about
anything.
Nemours people? Can we get the CEO? And
I know, right? Nemours, they are a sponsor.
Oh, very cool.
Yep. So they're sponsoring. We have a whole bunch of other sponsors as well. Hope and Chop will come in as well.
I haven't been asked to be a sponsor.
Yes, you have. Garage doors.
I'm doing
yes,
it.
You
yes,
are. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
Oh, you didn't know. I sent you the bill, didn't I know?
Yeah, I was going to say, did I get the bill yet? I don't know if I'll be that
Garage door
excited.
services, Elegance Bakery and Cafe.
Is Junk Junk on there?
Northeast
Is
Pro
Junk
Wash.
is Junk Junk on it?
Junk Junk, did you get my bill? My invoice? So yeah. But no, we are still looking for sponsors. It will be an amazing event. It's
Awesome.
going towards Sensory Fit.
So
It's providing a better space for us. Now, I guess the backstory, we're in the Exton Mall. The mall's closing. It's demoing. I have to be out by the end of the year.
Okay.
Finding commercial space out there right now is a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare.
Oh.
I've put in offers or whatever you want to call it for at least 6 or 7 different spaces. And that's a lot within the lack of available space. So again, I'm fighting again because I'm losing these landlords are going with more traditional
Right.
businesses. And that's quote, the last one that we lost was, we're going to go with a more traditional business. I'm like, I can't win. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, do I need to fake it just to get a space? Do I need to make up what we do? Like, I don't know. It's insane.
You got to fake it to make it.
It's, pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, between that or it's just so expensive out there. And as a small business, like, we're 2 years in. It's tough out there. I can't. The rent these days is like $12,000 a month for like
$12,000 a month.
the same size that I have right now.
Right.
Like,
and you're the one taking advantage of people.
Yes. So
yeah. So Downingtown Country Club and 7 Tap Tavern. I've never been to 7 Tap Tavern, but you know what? When it says tap and tavern in the same thing, I'm all ears.
Yes.
And I'm all in. Definitely golfing in this. I hope everybody will definitely jump on board. This is really cool. I love Billy's legacy, learning about the situation there. I love that it's 17 years in the running.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they're giving it the Sensory Fit.
Right.
Such a cool aspect to it.
Our goal for this outing is to raise over $100,000.
Okay.
So if you want to support, you want to golf,
you know me.
By all means,
I'm definitely all in on this. So Terry, can you bring up Sensory Fit's website, please? I'd like to have everybody be able to reach out to you. I want you to go through your website, but I do have one question.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ink blots, is that a sensory needed thing? Is that something that, like, are you sitting there holding ink blots up and like, what do you see here? Is that something you do during?
Here's a little backstory on my name and my logo.
Love it.
My husband and I were avid CrossFitters.
Okay.
Way back before I had more children, right? Then kids are great, but they ruin a lot of things.
When life was easy.
Avid CrossFitters. We did competitions. I absolutely love that environment. And so that's CrossFit. That's where Sensory Fit came from. So CrossFit is, the workout for your body, and the same thing. Sensory Fit is the same thing for those who need it that way.
Yeah.
It's your sensory system
really
workout,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So that's where the name came from.
And the splash.
Okay, the logo.
Yeah.
My friend is my graphic artist, does all our t-shirts, all our stuff, and she probably hates me because that took forever. So what it is the autism puzzle piece, right? The logos and the they changed. It's an evolution. They all change, an infinity symbol and all those kind of things. And I didn't just want one symbol, right? But I didn't know I just couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. That was more fun. Right. And just a fun environment, but very tailored.
It looks really cool.
So I pretty much told her, take that puzzle piece and smush it. And she's like, what? I'm like, I don't know how else to explain this. But I'm like, just take it and smush it. She's like, Meg,
make it splat.
Right? This is what she come up with. And I was like, that's it. And she's like, are you serious? Like, it took months.
You did it.
Oh my gosh. She probably hates me.
This is awesome.
But that's where that came in. So behind the story, we don't do paint. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, paint's fun. Like, we'll do some stuff, but that's not the basis of the business. That is the autism puzzle piece smushed.
That's great. So, Meg, you had a lot of great advice today. I really appreciate you being on the show. how can people reach out to Sensory Fit? What avenue would be the best?
So anything, the website, even through the little chat box, I do get that.
So
That is
what's
me
what's the
answering
website?
you. www.sensoryfitplay.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can email me at info@sensoryfitplay.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook at
Okay.
SensoryFit. Send us a DM or whatever. Everything comes through me. We do have a TikTok account, but it's
Okay.
like one video and it says go to Instagram.
That's awesome.
So I just, yeah, we're not really TikTok worthy, or in a sense, like I find it more beneficial and reach more people through Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
My daughter's on the right and my cousin's child is on the left, and
Awesome.
they're just having some fun. That's a kind of a portion of Sensory Fit. And since we have expanded our age ranges, now we had to pause because some issues with the mall and I lost that new space we got. So, but we kind of have choose your experience where, you know, everybody knows us for our ages 8 and under, but we will and have branched out to adults, and we'll be branching out to like middle school ages. So the basis of Sensory Fit is that no one will age out.
Right.
Right. So all those little kids that started us in the beginning, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, by the time they reach 8, you're not aging out.
That's really cool.
I will do my best that I will have something for you so you don't age out. And that's the goal with our foundation, to help keep it that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, we do adult programs. We do social bunches, lunch bunches, cornhole tournaments. I did have a request for bocce ball. Not
Awesome.
personally, but I was like, all right, so bocce ball. So
Champions.
again, we're trying trial and error, a lot of different programs, and just again, be in that space for those that need us.
That's really cool. Meg, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you, Young Junk. Amazing studio again. Hey, sensoryfitplay.com. Sensory Fit, if you or your child, or you feel like your kids are in a sensory needed environment, please take them there, check it out, have a great time with it. Bring your other kids too. They're gonna love it. We absolutely loved it. Our kids don't even have sensory needs, but they absolutely love it. It was a pleasure getting to know you. It was a pleasure getting to know your business. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Terry, you're not Dylan. Have a great day, guys.
Young John.